Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue our exploration of some possibly Paleolithic era characters, which is the dawn of civilization. And last month, we went over environmental characters, that's humans' existing conditions starting from the rain and all the weather conditions and basic tools humans came up with to deal with surviving in that environment. Now, this month, I'm going to focus on human ourselves, starting from human the character itself. Since I've been doing this one word a day into the fifth year, season five, that this character, human, came up, probably one of the most frequent characters recurring in Chinese expressions because language is serving human activities, human thoughts, right? As I said, language is the currency of thinking. And because we are the actor of our everyday living, so it's no wonder that we're going to have human, this character, this expression referring to ourselves most often. So let's revisit and see from the lens, the context of going over Paleolithic characters from the early age, how humans would conceptualize human as a species, as a whole group of us, as a concept of differentiating humans from others, right? Okay, 人 is how it's pronounced. And I believe English speakers or foreign language speakers, that's sound-based language, alphabetic ones can still pronounce 人, right? And the second tone. You can see from this month, I'm going to add traditional Chinese. So this is simplified Chinese, my original setup, and then I add one line of traditional Chinese. In this case, both it's super simple already. So in simplified Chinese version, there's no need to further simplify this concept, right? So they look exactly the same. And I start with this. My understanding of what humans mean starts from this. It's a symmetrical structure. And just by the look of it, I came up with, okay, this is two-leg standing being. That's what differentiates us, two-leg standing, not four-leg standing, from the other mammals. And eventually I came to the realization of this English R letter looking character, that this actually is not a frontal view. This is a side view. The side view is the straighter side on the left. This left stroke is the front side of your body. And then this more curvious side, just like our spines. Our spine got curvatures, natural curvatures. And Chinese captured a little bit of that and probably a little bit exaggerating and not realistic, but it shows the curve on the backside of our body. So this is front and back. And the major discovery I came through after like a few years is that Chinese, the conceptualization of the world is the leftward facing is a Chinese forward going versus English culture, the axles, the timeline or the number line, it's always this arrow pointing toward the right. But Chinese is reverse direction. And therefore, the front of our body, it's facing the left, not the right side. Okay, so that's a major distinction culturally, right? It's the opposite direction. And and you may say, okay, this front and back, it looks like ape walking almost, right? Like your hand and your feet, it's kind of on the same plane, almost like you're still walking on both hands and legs. I mean, it's possible, right? Because it's one of the earliest concepts that Chinese language capture what It is. That's human. That is possible at that time. Hand walking is still was still a thing back then. But it's only like we can, I guess I need more historical uh, depth of knowledge to really make that kind of statement. But one linguistic statement is by looking at so many characters, this is scripts. People call it scripts. So about over 2,000 years ago's dictionary capture how Chinese render ren, human concept, and a lot of other Chinese characters that sometimes is not realistic. So simply by viewing this front and back, almost look like the limb, the hands and feet land on the same plane, doesn't mean it's realistically rendering that. Okay, so there are some distortions in the characters trying to capture reality. And here, the front simply could mean, like this could mean the front leg as well. And we are two legs standing beings still, but except that this is the front, this is the back. And this is front side of the body, full length, and this is back side of the body. So depends on how you view it. Okay, expressions related to 人模狗样. Okay, if you look at the individual character, literal translation is human mode, dog look. So we have both human and dog in there. And dog is one of the earliest domestic animals. And I mean, in Chinese culture, dog back then was not the pet status, such a big business and industry and whole entertainment surrounded by dog or cat themed culture back then. Dog's relationship to humans were different back then. So 人模狗样 in Chinese expression doesn't mean like humans as cute as dog. No, this dog look actually means a humbled animal look because humans were supposed to have a certain dignity beyond, hopefully, the animal. I mean, animals have their dignity, definitely. But in the language, in the human-centric language, we probably elevate humans above other animals. So when we say human mode dog look, 人模狗样, that means we regard a person. We're talking about the behavior of a person. Now, this person, is molded in a person, but the behavior, the movement, the gait, the posture, the way the person moves through the world looks like a dog. It doesn't have that layer of human dignity. And that's the beginning meaning of 人模狗样. It's describing supposedly lower class of Chinese human look that you don't regard them much because they display a dog look. But eventually, 人模狗样 got deviate from that original, almost like a pretty sharp critique of a human behavior. That 人模狗样 eventually becomes somebody who package themselves to be more than who they are. Is a kind of a critique of self-promoter by packaging to carry the look of almost like a imposer, to carry the look of somebody on a higher social status than they really are. And the culture kind of critique that effort as well. If you try to look beyond your class, then that's not appropriate. That's not okay. And this derogative expression would be used on you. 人模狗样. Okay, 人无完人. I had an episode talking about this, saying Chinese acknowledge that no man is a complete man. So we are all flawed. So it's human to err, right? So we don't need to feel bad about that. And Chinese have this comfort line to all of us. 人无完人, 天人合一. So here is a perfect beginning episode connecting the first month. We're talking about the tian, basically the environment. And Chinese use tian, a pretty abstract concept. In today's language, simplified Chinese, or in the simplified version of this understanding of this character, it narrowed to sky, but actually it can mean everything beyond humans, the biosphere, the outer space, the conceptualized supernatural, superhuman, like beyond the human world, but we somehow exist nested in. Depends on how far you see, right? We nest in. Even if back then technology may not find out the galaxies and the solar system and all that, they may still see the world as layers and layers on different scale. And this tian actually encompass all that different layers of things out there beyond the human world. And so we use, even if today I translate the sky because that's the literal meaning, dictionary meaning of today's understanding of that character, but it got more. Okay, so tian and ren is environment and agent. Okay, I'm using computer lingo. So what's beyond us and us, human, man, join as one. So when you reach that status of we don't no longer make that differentiation of what is the environment, what is us. We don't regard environment versus agent dynamic as antagony, right? You're not fighting against it. You join it as one. And that's when you are in harmony with the environment and your life can come to a more peaceful way. All right. So this is simply 人 human. Thank you for your time. See you another day.